welcome to Weight Loss 101. You will see there on the left hand side is me. If you haven't seen any of these videos before, this is me April this year, and this is me August this year. And I lost, I think, about 20 kgs in general. I'm making these videos just to give people some information and just to have some discussions about weight and how it works. I've been battling obesity and being overweight my entire life, but for a long time I was actually in denial about this. So I'm making this sort of to also help others. Today we're going to just be talking about some weight loss tips. We just want to look at some tips, some things that I picked up. And the one thing I said initially that I just want to reiterate again is that you can't say no one shoe fits all. You can do some of these things, but you can't do all of them. So you have to look at what fits you, even with exercise routines, with fitness apps. We've been speaking about the 28-day diet. We've been speaking about the fitness app. We've been speaking about calorie counting and apps that do calorie counting. You can go back to the previous videos to see those things. But like I say, these are just guidelines. People have asked me and said, what did you do? So what I'm doing basically is I'm telling them, what I did. And I started off by just talking about SMART goals. I wanted to get from 132 to 92. And we did that in the previous video. And over a period of 12 months, that equals a loss of 3.4 per month, which is quite hectic, but I mean, it's doable. Now, this morning I just picked up some stuff yesterday that I just want to share with you. And the one thing that is extremely important that a lot of us don't do is we need to keep track of our calories. So we need to look at how many calories we are consuming per day. And we need to look at how many carbohydrates we are consuming per day. Now, you will, once you've used, for instance, one of the apps, it will actually work out for you. Or a fitness expert can work out for you. But the app that I've used, the Fat Secret app, that will work out for you exactly where you're starting on weight and what your goal is, and then how many you have to lose per day. But it will also assist you to count the amount of calories you're taking in today. So this app, I would say, is probably one of the greatest tips for me is to count those calories, because if you work out your BMI and somebody professional works it out, or the app works it out by estimation, you will know that you have to consume between 2,000 and 3,500 calories per day. Every label of every product will give you an indication of how many calories are in the product, and you can then add this or scan it. That's the nicest thing about this app. It actually works on barcode scanning, where you can actually scan what you're eating, and then it will keep track of it. So if you're looking at a standard label, just like nutritional facts, you will look at normally find your calories and normally find your carbohydrates. And those are sort of the two things I look at. Like I say, I'm not an expert, but what I did find and what I did here is that if you can also keep your carbohydrates a bit lower. Now, like I said before, Sugar Smugger is a web page that Teresa, my sister-in-law that helps me with weight loss, she put this web page up, and what she does there is, because she's diabetic, she works on a lot of low carb foods. But I mean, what is the advantage of sort of counting carbs? Well, what I understand is, depending on sort of your personal body, but if you keep your carbohydrates low, this is like I say, if you go read up on the Atkins diet or low carb diets, that sort of thing, if you keep your carbohydrates low, and they reckon between 20 and 40 per day, your body actually goes into a state where it actually burns your fat, rather than burning sort of the food, or you picking up weight, you will burn the fat. So if you're counting carbohydrates, but I mean, if you look at this, for instance, whatever this might have been, I don't know, but I mean, this has already got 29 carbs in. So you need, it will take some exercise to do that. And like when they're talking about banting these days and stuff like that, a lot of the banting products, because they don't use flour, they use almond flour maybe, or a substitute product, you'll find that the carbohydrates are very low in those kind of foods. So say, for instance, you eat like two slices of banting bread in the morning, say more or less 4 carbs. And you eat this afternoon, you eat 2 slices of banting bread, that's another 8 carbs. and tonight you eat your meat with your maybe with your vegetables. That will be a few carbs. You will have to work out what vegetables they are, how many carbs they have in, but you don't eat your rice. I can guarantee you that you're probably then taking in under, say, 30 carbs for that day, which in terms of Atkins diet will say that it puts you in a ketonic state. That means that your body will burn fat, and if you remain in that state for a long time, your body will burn the fat. But like I say, I don't promote any specific diet. I'm just saying these are all stuff like Banting and Atkins and a lot of the diets. They found certain truths, but it's not necessarily the only truth that you should have. So I think a combination of this stuff. So what I want to say today, it's very important. We don't know this now. A while ago, there was a thing on Discovery that I saw. It was actually a few years ago. It was these two friends. The one is thin and the one is quite overweight, and they spoke to the Discovery guys, the Discovery Channel guys, and these guys are weight experts. So what happened is they spoke to these guys and they said to them that this one woman can eat whatever she wants to eat, and she doesn't pick up weight, and the other one just looks at food and she gets fat. And they wanted to see if this was true, because there's a lot of people claiming that that they pick up weight and their metabolic rate is low. And yes, you have to boost your metabolic rate, and maybe we'll chat about that in the next film. But what they did was they actually put sensors on this woman. They put sensors of both of them, and sensors everywhere. So Discovery actually tracked them, tracked the activity level, and tracked what they were eating to see if, for instance, what they said was true. To see if it was true that the one just looked at food and she got fat, and the other one didn't eat food. And what they tracked actually when they did the final analysis, they actually picked up that the overweight lady had a lot of different bad habits. She was very sedentary, so in other words, she was sitting a lot, she wasn't moving a lot, she wasn't standing up. The other one had more activity, so she would maybe burn 500 to 600 calories more per day, burning that just walking around. The type of food they ate, the overweight lady had sort of this problem of consuming a lot of food at the same time with a lot of carbohydrates, and the other one ate more, but she ate during the day, and she ate less carbs, and she ate a better type of carb. And what they said at the end of the day is that a lot of people walk around and they say, oh, I can't lose weight. I just can't do it. And I mean, I've been there where I've said, oh, your metabolic rate gets lower. As you're pushing 50, you're getting older, in your 40s. You obviously your metabolic rate gets slower, and there are ways to speed it up. We'll chat about that next time. But what I'm saying is, don't give yourself softness and cop-outs and sort of go into denial. Denial is not just a river in Egypt. It's something that gets into our mind a lot of times, where we go into denial when we deny things and we say, you know what, I'm denying the real reasons. And rather face the facts and sort of face it, and then make a strategy or plan, or come up with a strategy or plan. That's what Weight Loss 101 is about. I'm just trying to help people, and I mean, if 100 people, I see 100 people sometimes get reached by the videos. I mean, if they watch it, they put it off, they don't watch it, whatever. At the end of the day, for me, it's just like to share what has happened in my life and how it changes your life, because you can make that decision and then stick to that decision. God will help you and support you in that, but it will also sort of change your entire life. It will change the way people see you, and it will change the way you look at life. It can change your mental condition. So it's a huge thing, and even if you have to go on the 28-day diet, just to sort of get yourself weaned off all the sugars, off all the wrong eating, and just sort of get to a more healthy habits in life. Even if you have to get a exercise bike, or get like a treadmill, and just put a plan in place, and I mean, through these videos we've given quite a lot of different things, then do it. I mean, why not do it? Why not invest in your future? Yesterday we were talking again, myself, my father, and we were talking about somebody who died prematurely. And the strangest thing is a lot of times when we're young, we don't care about life, and we think that we're invincible. We have that feeling of we'll never die. But as soon as people get to the elderly stages of their lives, and they have grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and they want to hold on to life, then they sort of think, I should have made better choices throughout my life. So maybe it says, oh, I don't want to count calories. Some say, I don't want to count carbs. I don't want to look at these things. I want to live my life with my head down and relax. And that's great. I mean, there are people that don't have tendencies to overeat. And I know people that have their whole lives, they've never had a problem with overeating. They've never had a problem with weight gain. I mean, there are those people. But if you're watching this video, there might be a chance that you're not one of them and I'm not one of them. So then we need to actually put ourselves under some form of discipline where we say, okay, you know what, I've got a problem and I need to address this problem. And like I said in the beginning, you have to find your why, and then you have to reiterate that why, the psychology of saying, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I sticking to what I'm doing? And why am I going through with this? And how am I going to do it? And the next videos that I'm making, I mean, all of the others that I've made afterwards, it's all about how. Little tips, little tricks. I'm not saying go bonkers. I mean, I've got the Atkins book here. I've never followed it. My father-in-law followed it. And I mean, he's lost a lot of weight on it, and then he gained it back again. But now he's lost a lot of weight again. I think it's a healthy lifestyle. And if you use a combination of Atkins, Banting, you know, the principles that are in these diets, yes, obviously you have to restrict a bit of fat and stuff like that. But I mean, the low fat craze is also sort of off the table. It's not the only thing that's going to make it. But logically, if you can use an application on your phone and you can count your calories and you can put them in, you can scan them, you can take a product, scan it, put it in, you will know exactly if you're going over limit or under limit. That's a great thing. If you look at the type of food you're eating, you will know what is slow release, what is high release. You can make better food choices. And you will also think twice when you're looking at the carbohydrates. You will think twice before you start eating hamburgers and chips. I mean, for years I've been eating hamburgers and chips, never knowing that it actually took my body out of a state of burning fat. And you know, now I know if I can limit my calorie intake per day, and I can save maybe 500 to 1,000 calories on what I'm supposed to eat today, without really going terribly hungry, and I can choose better, make better food choices, and limit my carbs, I will be losing weight and getting to goal weight within a longer period. It won't be a crunch diet. I won't you lose the weight in 1 month to it, but this is a lifestyle change. If and tomorrow probably, or the day after, we'll talk about metabolic rate. But if I can do some exercise and I can do some strength and resistance training, I can sort of get my metabolic rate lifted a bit. So there's a lot of different things and tips that you can follow. And for more information, you can contact me. I'll put my details on the screen there. Once the tripod's little leg comes into play. Okay, there you go. There's my number, my email address. And yeah, if you want more information, I said before, I've got a copy of the Afrikaans 28-day diet. If you need the 28-day diet, there's a lot of them online. The ones that I saw, a lot of them, unfortunately, we don't have the products in South Africa. But there's one I followed. It worked. I mean, it took me from there. I mean, you can see from April to August, a lot of that is the 28-day diet, because I lost a lot of weight in the diet rather than out the diet. But now I'm still losing consistently every week a little bit, but I'm doing that in a sort of more healthy way, a more gradual way, and I believe a way that's a lifestyle rather than just a flash in the pan. Well, God bless you, and I hope these work. I do them. You know, for you guys, share them with your friends. If you know of somebody that's really depressed and going through difficulty, and I mean, I was there, you know, you don't feel good about yourself, share it with them, show it to them. They won't be offended. They'll appreciate the help. Most people do. I used to think that people will get offended if you say something or you want to help them. No, people want help. So share it with them. It's free. It's no charge. It's something that we can all do. We can make those decisions, and we can change our lives forever and ever. God bless you, and have a wonderful day.